Welcome to FitBody Lifestyle, the show where we dive deep into the world of fitness, health, business, relationships, and the art of living a balanced life. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Greg, and we're here to give you the benefit of our experiences in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, the corporate world, running a business, personal development, and building healthy relationships.
Whether you're sweating it out in the gym, hustling in your business, or seeking balance in your everyday life, you're in the right place.
So lace up those sneakers and grab that water bottle, and let's get ready to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of FitBody Lifestyle, and we are here for our Fusion hack, and we are joined by our very special guest, Drew Brannon. I almost want to call you Dr. Drew Brannon. I don't know why, just because
Dr. Drew.
Know, but
it's like Dr. Dre,
Dr. Drew. That's where it was coming from. So, Coach Drew Brannon. Drew, thank you for joining us for this little Fusion hack.
Yeah, I'm honored people want to hear what I have to say.
Well, we want to hear what you have to say. So at least I think we're people. We still qualify in that category.
I'm the people.
You are the people. Just give people a little thumbnail sketch of you and who you are. They may or may not have seen other episodes, so let's let them know who you are.
Yeah. So I'm a FitBody Fusion coach, also in charge of continuing education for our entire team, owner of Pinellas Ultimate Strength House in Seminole, Florida, which is the gym. And as most people know me, I'm at Jay Brannon's husband.
There you go. That's a lot. That's a lot. So today, the Fusion hack that we want to talk to people about is the after-show travel.
Yeah.
So the off-season travel and how to make better choices.
Yeah, just transitioning out of season and how difficult that can be for some athletes to navigate, yet how important it is, right, to not completely kind of ruin a reverse or things like that. And there's a lot of things to consider.
If somebody is planning to go on a trip right after a show, what do you tell them?
The first thing I lead with is, like choosing the best choice presented in front of you at the time. So you've already given up so much in terms of social, with your friends and family and food and things like that. So, I really like to encourage my athletes to, if you're with a group of people and they want to go do a dinner, that's fine. Show up, be there, be present, enjoy your time with friends, family, loved ones, but just choose the best choice that's presented in front of you. So you don't have to go for the chimichanga, right? Even though we all love a nice fried chimichanga with queso on top.
Do we?
I'm hungry. But, maybe you go with like a chicken fajita, right? Something that's, you're there, you can be present, but it's a little bit easier to manage and track and things like that. So that's just kind of what I like to recommend to my athletes.
Well, I'll tell you that there's a different, the one good thing about the group eating context, and something Jamie and I started doing a lot is, okay, I do want that chimichanga, but do I want the whole chimichanga?
Right.
And so, hey, Jamie, I want the chimichanga. Oh, hey, I want that too. Well, then let's order one and split it. You're halving the calories right there. So you still get the taste of it, but part of it is just that decoupling food from fun and being present in that moment and just saying, okay, what are my larger goals and objectives? How do I align them to the choices I'm about to make?
I do think too, though, we all know that hunger cues are completely out of whack when we've been super lean for a long time. So, keeping that at top of mind when we're going in, because I do think that, having some like higher fibers sort of food, maybe start with a big green salad or something like that. So you're starting to, get that volume satiation, since you're not getting the leptin cell satiation signal necessarily.
No, absolutely. And setting your... Jordan and I learned this 2022 post Olympia. We planned a cruise before we thought she'd ever get an Olympia qualification. Like 3 days after Olympia. So we went on a 10-day cruise, and you were like, "What?
Are you sure?
You guys are gonna do what?" Yeah, we learned. But anyways,
what did you learn since you were?
The wine tastes really good. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I was up 22 pounds, and I did amateur Olympia within a week, and she was up like 14 or 16, and we packed on a pretty good bit of body fat really, really quick. I remember I was working with Cuts at the time, and literally he put me like right back in a prep setting right when I got back from the cruise, and mentally I felt like I needed it, but then physically I was reminded of myself like I didn't need that once I got back. And it's something too that we as coaches, we really try to prepare our athletes for. I do think though, no matter how much we think we can prepare them, and especially the true novice, until they go through it themselves and they experience it, it's like, yeah. they don't get it. And it's hard to watch. It sucks as a coach when you've tried and you've really tried to prepare them and give them stuff to read and literature and, help set them up for success. But like you said, when those leptin and ghrelin, hormones are all out of whack,
you feel almost crazed. And I do think that that's something that most people have to go through at least once, if not 2 or 3 times. And it's really interesting to watch the progression of an athlete from their very first time. Like you said, no matter how much we prepare them as coaches and let them know this is what it's going to feel like, watch out for the sugar because it's going to spike the insulin and start the craving. So, just eat some food first. I mean, we'll give all these tools. And yet because that it's crazy making when your hunger signals are so out of whack. So it is still very difficult. So I do think like as people progress in their competition career, usually they are able to then tune into the messaging a little bit more and remind themselves of, hey, remember, this is what happened last time when you went a little bit crazy. I know for me, I did that. I went on a vacation right after USA's and I just swole up so much from this long travel trip and eating all these things my body wasn't used to. And it ended up not being fun.
Yeah. And I think also remind athletes like acutely, okay, you're off plan for shows Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You didn't just put on 10 pounds of body fat. It's not physically possible over 2 days to put on 10 pounds of body fat. There's water, there's a lot of things that go on. And if we can get them back in pretty quickly, right, it's going to be what's best. But it just, like I said, the reason I want to talk about this hack is choosing what's best. This is whatever's best presented in front of you. Like we give up so much socially when we're in prep. Friends and family just really don't understand it. I know it's something that Jordan and I struggled with early on when she was competing. My family really didn't understand it. Her family didn't understand it. What do you mean? Like NPC Nationals was like in December after Thanksgiving or something like that. And like, oh, you can't come and just have a fried turkey, a smoked turkey, and a baked turkey, like
and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. And
that is one thing I don't love about NPC Nationals. That
it's after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's after Thanksgiving. It's really tough on athletes. But anyways,
it is.
Just do what you can, whether it's even getting steps in, right? If we're going to go a mile, we're on vacation somewhere, let's just we don't have to Uber. We can just walk. Let's get steps in there. Just do what you can to make the best choices you can in the moment. Don't hyperanalyze and go crazy. I think a lot of athletes, they go like polar one extreme where they're completely off plan and then trying to counterbalance and then skip a check-in and then they'll try to diet really hard and starve themselves and do a bunch of cardio to wash it out. Just do your best and communicate.
And when you're living in those extremes, when you're then you really do get into robbing Peter to pay Paul because, okay, hey, I'm going to gorge myself today and then I'm going to starve myself tomorrow. If you don't think that's playing havoc with your body and your hormones, and
it's even worse.
It's worse. And mentally it's having a factor as well because you've been in that restrictive mindset for so long. And that's, I think the biggest challenge for people is that mindset aspect of getting that right into the right view. And so doing as much as you can to create space between stimulus. Hey, I'm walking into a buffet and my response, I'm going to fill up my plate of, okay, I have a plan. Maybe I don't need to be at this buffet.
Right.
Maybe I could be somewhere else. Or hey, I just finished a show, my love. Could you go and just get me 5 items, small, prioritized protein, fiber, whatever. Could you do that for me? Because I don't think I can withstand the temptation of that buffet line. I know it sounds easy. It's much harder to put into practice. But my point is really building on what you're saying, Drew, which is it's about making reasonable choices, not perfect choices, reasonable choices.
Right. Well, it's funny too, because like even I've been in a situation where all I had was a convenience store, or we've had athletes like they're at the airport and their food went bad. You know what I mean? Like, what can I do? I've had that happen. I'm like, well, go, most of the stores have boiled eggs. They have, a banana or an apple. They have, you can go into a convenience store or grab a protein bar. So like, there's always something you can do. So it's just taking the pause.
Absolutely. And just thinking about it, I get a lot of athletes struggle with their support system, and we're surrounded by people in this industry, right. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So it's not as applicable for us now, but I think the earlier competitors, that's tough. Boyfriends, fiancés, husbands, wives, whatever it might be. And another thing, you got to remember, like your support system is also taking a hit when you're prepping as well. And you have to remind that, and kind of there's that give and take when you do get into an off season. I think that's super important to reconnect. I've done this. I've been there. Greg, you've been there too, right? When they're prepping and understanding what they go through and supporting them, loving them, but knowing, hey, prep it's almost done, and like we're gonna reconnect and things like that. So, but yeah, just from the athlete perspective, do the best you can with what's presented in front of you.
It's the difference between being prepared and being ready. And the prepared part is have a plan. It doesn't need to be a perfect plan. It doesn't need to be so detailed that, hey, I'm going to manage everything, but it does need to be. So if logging your food, for example, is something that mentally is just not where you're at, then don't worry about that. But do impose, okay, if I'm not going to log food, then how am I going to manage my food intake? Prioritizing fiber, protein, things like that. Just have a strategy. Have a strategy and approach a plan. And what you said, I think, is just spot on. This is why you're not ready. Until you've gone through it, and even if you've gone through it, every show is going to be a little bit different. Your prep's going to be a little bit different. I mean, we have some athletes going into a show with 2,800 calories, or 300-400 grams of carbs.
But they can still be hungry.
Yeah, and they can still be hungry, but their restriction is a lot less, and it's a relative form. So but I will tell you, we've had some of those athletes with high calories go, off the deep end after a show because they're not prepared. You're not going to be ready for it because the hunger cues, the hormonal changes, your body changes are just going to mess with your mind and your approach. So you're not you don't ever think you're going to be ready for it. Do have a plan. Do have an outlet. I think also having that battle buddy, that's just a military thing, but having that person you can call, and we've had this with our athletes. Can I call you because I'm just having a moment? Often that moment of reaching out for help creates that pause between stimulus and response. And when you create that pause, it's the same reason why water is such a tremendous benefit. When you feel the hurt, I'm going to drink water. I'm going to go for a walk. These things can help you create that pause between stimulus and response. And then the last thing I would say is the best way to avoid temptation is avoid temptation. If you know peanut butter is your Achilles heel, don't put peanut butter in the house thinking, I'm only going to have a spoonful a day. No, you're not. You're going to have that spoonful, and it's going to be followed by another spoonful. So,
like when I was in prep and I decided to go to Costco and I got the Costco sized bag of kettle corn, thinking, this is for the kids.
Yep.
Terrible idea.
It became for you.
Terrible idea. Yes.
So again,
I can't have Cheez-Its in the house.
Yeah.
You can?
No, I can't.
Oh, we can't because they're
Yeah, except for Pam. Pam sent me like 1,000 Cheez-It, little single package Cheez-Its. So now it's...
Don't send Drew any Cheez-Its, please.
I love all of you, but just help me and my
help me help myself.
Yeah.
My Cheez-It addiction.
It's bad.
This is good stuff. Is there anything else that we need to cover for people?
No, I think this is good.
Okay. Have a plan. Just the
reasonable.
outline, be reasonable, make the better choices, and be present in your day. And also think back to the why, what your why is. If your why is that you want to keep competing and everything, then doing all that stuff is just going to make you feel like crap, and it's just not going to help you with your long-term objectives. And remember one last thing, give yourself grace. One day is not going to make or break you. So you can always recover from a day. You can actually recover from a week. When you get to a month, that becomes hard. You're just going to have to dig deeper and drive harder the longer you go down that. So no one single day is what I would say.
It's going to define you.
There you go. All right, we good? Good. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave your review. And again, I tell you guys the reason we want this is we want to drive better content for you, so that we do look at that stuff. The algorithm and that's all fine and well, but I really want the comments because we want to give you the best content.
We've been getting a lot of suggestions for shows, so we appreciate that.
And remember the 3 Bs, be good to yourself.
Be good to each other.
And be safe. Drew, thank you so much for being with us. You inspire us every day. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to FitBody Lifestyle. We hope today's episode has left you feeling motivated and equipped to tackle your fitness goals, business challenges, and the daily dance of life. Remember to value progress over perfection. Life's tough enough alone. Find the chosen family around you to help you along the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FitBody Fusion.